So my goal for this conference with Isaac's parents is really just to tell them how good he's doing. He really is such an awesome student, and so I just want to talk about the strengths that he has and what a good asset he is to our class. His skills, especially with like rhyming and handwriting and um, comprehension, are really good. And then I just want to also talk about some of the things that we can work on with him, like his fluency and reading speed. So we'll address all of those in this conference. Um, all right, hi, thank you so much for coming.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you about Isaac. He is seriously so wonderful. It's been such a blessing to have him in my class because he is such a good student. He works so hard. He's kind. He's very well behaved. He is always like quiet when he's supposed to be quiet, and he participates when we need participation. Like, he is excellent and such a good friend and helper to all of his fellow students. So I'm so happy that he's in my class. I just love him so much. So um, basically, with this conference, I just want to share with you a few of the things that he's doing so well and some of the things that we can work on, and just talk about how awesome Isaac is, really. So as far as the skills, the things that he is so good at, he is great at rhyming. He is awesome at that. We've been practicing it a little bit in class, and he's been doing so good. He's also really great at comprehension and retelling stories. We've read several stories in class, and he has done so well. He can always remember and retell them. So he's doing great at that, and he has great handwriting as well. There's a sample here of his handwriting, which you can see, like, for the most part, he's really good about staying in the lines, doing capital letters and lowercase letters. He has written a couple of the letters backwards, which is totally normal for first grade. Like, it definitely happens a lot, so it's nothing to be concerned about. And we've been practicing that in class too. So um, you don't need to worry about that. But just with more practice in writing, he will improve there. But I'm very pleased with his handwriting. It's been awesome. Um, and he is a very persistent reader too. He tries so hard in his reading, which is awesome. And he really loves it too, which I can tell. You must read a lot at home with him, so that's awesome. So again, we kind of have already talked about some of the strengths, but I have given him several assessments throughout the beginning of the school year, just to kind of test him and see where he is with his reading, comprehension, fluency, spelling, handwriting, all these things that I've been talking about. And they've just been simple assessments, but super helpful in letting me know where he is at developmentally, and helping me know where he needs to improve and what areas and how I can help him with that. So I just wanted to show you a few of the assessments, if that's okay, and just talk about the things that I've found in working with Isaac. So this one here, it's called a sentence dictation test. And basically what it is I just read him a sentence out loud, well, a couple sentences out loud, and had him write them down just from hearing it. And so you can see this is what he wrote. And not all of the words are spelled correctly, but it's the sound that matters. So instead of writing today, Today, like how we spell it, he did Todae. And so you can tell that he was like today. He was sounding it out and trying to figure out how it was actually spelled. So even though it wasn't correct, he received points for that, full points, because he's listening to how the words are spelled, which is something that we're really focusing on in first grade, is inventive spelling, like being able to just sound out, even if you don't know exactly how it is, just doing your best and trying your best and being a brave speller. And he is definitely a brave speller. He's done so good at that. So that was the sentence dictation test. Rhyming, I gave him a few rhyming words, a list of 20 sets of words. Some of them rhymed, some of them didn't, and he scored 20 out of 20 on that. He did so good. He was able to just pick them up right away. And so he definitely has a firm grasp on rhyming. With the rhyming, I think that one thing that we are doing in school, just to solidify that, is just continuing practice. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. Just making those connections between rhyming words and not rhyming words, and sometimes they sound or look the same, or sometimes they look the same, but they don't actually rhyme, So we've just been making an extra effort in class to do that, and I've showed them like side by side words and how they rhyme or don't rhyme. So that's something that I've been working on with them in class. Something that you could do at home to help with rhyming is honestly just like as you're going throughout the day, just say, hey, there's a cat. Isaac, what rhymes with cat? And then you can have that little tiny discussion, and like it doesn't have to be anything big or formal, just like very casually, like, oh, there's a rhyming word, just so that he is like looking throughout the day for things that rhyme. Another thing that I love is reading Dr. Seuss books or other rhyming books. They're so fun, and even the Dr. Seuss books, most of the rhyming words aren't like real words; they're made up. But just making that connection between what rhymes and what doesn't, I think will be really, really helpful for Isaac. So that's a suggestion that you can do with him at home. And then with handwriting, he's done so good, like I showed you. In school, I'm just going to give him more writing practice. We do journal entries every day, and so I'm looking at that and seeing how he's doing with writing. But it's been shown that students who have opportunities to write 3 or 4 times a day have an increased speed in writing, which is awesome. We're just trying to get them more fluent, make the writing more natural. So just giving him that extra practice in school is helping him to become a more fluent writer. So yeah. And as far as things you can do at home to help him continue on with his writing, even though he's doing so great, you could have him like write a letter to a friend. It's like a casual thing, and then it's not just like writing spelling words, so it's more fun than that. It gives him something else to do, so it doesn't feel like homework, but it's still giving him that opportunity to practice writing at home. So anytime you can take the opportunity to write with him at home or see that he's writing something, that's awesome. Any extra practice will help so much. And then high frequency words as well. That's something we've really been trying to hit hard with first grade, just because there's so many of them that are really essential, like building blocks for later on. If you could write the high frequency words with him or have him practice on his own, that would be an excellent way, and that would really increase the rate of his growth as well if you just practice those words with him. So that'd be awesome. As far as things that I am seeing that he might need a little bit extra help with, he does a great job of reading. He's so good at reading, but he's not super fast at it. So we're really trying to just work on the fluency and expression in reading and just getting that speed up. That's really the biggest thing, just increasing his speed. So with fluency, one of the assessments that I gave him is what's called a running record. And the running record is basically we'll read a book, and as he's reading, I will mark when he says a word correctly, when he reads it incorrectly or makes other mistakes or anything like that, and then I take the score, I figure out the accuracy and everything like that. So I was able to do 3 running records with him in the past few months, and I saw overall he's doing really well. I think his scores, this one example, he got 91%, one of them he got 92%, one of them was 87%, so it's kind of a little bit spread out, but 91 was like about the average, and which is good. And you can tell that he's understanding. His reading level is E, but he's very borderline with D and E. Like he's definitely not at D level anymore, but the E is still a new challenge for him. So that I think is a factor of why he's been getting these scores. We want him to ideally be in like the 95% range, but he's at 91%, so he's really, really close. He's doing awesome. But just we're trying to get him to work up to that point where he could be at a 95 so he can move on to the next reading level. So with the fluency, we're just continuing practicing reading expressively, and we have the little whisper phones where they read out loud into their little PVC pipe phone thing, and so they can hear themselves when they're reading, and that helps them see like, oh, I'm not reading with this much expression, or like I didn't read that word right. So that has been helpful in developing that fluency. And another strategy that I want to use is to get him like an audio book or something so that he can listen to a story that's being read to him, and also give him the physical copy of the text so that he can follow along and read out loud with the audio, so that he's able to get that auditory experience and hear like the speed of how it should be read and the expression, but also that he gets that verbal practice as well, like orally reading it out loud as he follows along. I think that will really, really help with his fluency and with the speed of it and his expression, the prosody as he is reading. So I think that will really help him a lot. And as far as what you can do with him at home, just practicing high frequency words would be awesome, because that really is the thing that slows kids down. Like, yes, they come across hard words, but if they can't get those high frequency words, that really slows down the reading. So if you can just work with him on those high frequency words, that would be awesome. And then as far as the reading speed, I think what we can do is to let him pick books that he's interested in, because the more students are actively engaged and like interested in what they're reading, the better it's going to be. So if he is given books that he really enjoys reading, that would help him so much with just having a desire to read and to let him practice reading more. So I think that letting him pick the books he's interested would be awesome. And also, one more thing with fluency that I forgot to mention is, and in school, I want to start doing reader's theater. If you're familiar with that, it's basically kind of like a play. Like, they'll take the words from a book and they'll sort of act it out. They'll read it expressively, so they're like in a play, but they're not like in costumes or anything like that. And I think that would be really fun, again, to help with the expressive reading as well, because that's an important part of reading.
Totally.
It's not just whether you can read the words right on the page, but also how you're reading them. So I think that would really be helpful a lot too. So I'm going to work with him on that as well. But do you have any questions about what we've discussed so far or anything like that?
No, I think the strategies you gave were really helpful. They're really great ideas that I can definitely do at home with Isaac.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, in closing, I just wanted to thank you again so much for all the work that you've been doing at home with Isaac. I know that it really is helping a lot. I know that he reads a lot with you at home, which has been so beneficial. I can definitely see it in the classroom as he is reading and doing even like math problems and stuff. Like everything he does in class, I can tell that he's getting that experience at home too. So I'm very grateful for that, and I really just appreciate what a kind kid he is. He's so good, and I really just love him a lot. So thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks.